Leaders, visionaries, and business development specialists, did you guys know that we offer something extraordinary here at the Business Development Podcast? Introducing our business development coaching services. Whether you're a visionary entrepreneur navigating the business landscape solo or a team leader aiming at collective success, our coaching is tailored for you. Individualized guidance or dynamic team workshops, the choice is yours. We're here to empower you to conquer challenges and achieve your business growth goals. Ever wonder what it feels like to have a personalized roadmap to success? Email us at podcast@capitalbd.ca. Let's kickstart your journey to unparalleled growth in 2024. Our coaching is not just a service, it's a partnership dedicated to your success. Whether you're a startup or an established enterprise, let us be your guide. Ready to transform your business game? Email us at podcast@capitalbd.ca to learn more about our business development coaching services. Your success story begins with a single step. From all of us at the Business Development Podcast, we wish you an amazing 2024. Now let's get back to the show. Welcome to episode 103 of the Business Development Podcast. And today's episode is all about small business. If you're trying to juggle time, resources, and skills, this is an episode for you. Stick with us.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips, and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 103 of the Business Development Podcast. Man, we've had an absolutely amazing week. My gosh, I'm still just coming down a little bit. Just this morning, we ranked number 30 in Canada temporarily for Canadian entrepreneurship, and then we held at number 44. This is the highest that we've ever been able to rank in Canada. We are absolutely ecstatic about it. And I just wanted to take a minute here and just thank all of our amazing listeners around the world for all of the amazing things you guys do. This show would not grow without your consistent support. And I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you and I recognize the time and effort that you guys have put into the Business Development Podcast. And we couldn't have done it without your support. And so thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and helping this show to grow at the rate that it's managed to grow here over the last year. We had a couple just amazing days back to back with huge downloads, and we couldn't be more thankful and we couldn't be more appreciative. So thank you so much. Whether it's the first time finding the Business Development Podcast or whether you've been with us for 102 prior episodes, we appreciate you immensely. Just going to apologize ahead of time here. I am fighting a little bit of a cold, but we are going to truck through because that is what we do best. Wanted to chat a little bit about community questions. So just a reminder to everybody, if you love this show and you're in business development or you're growing your business and you have questions, you guys can leave us voicemails on the website. At the Business Development Podcast website, right-hand side, you'll see a little button that says leave a voicemail. Please, we want to hear community questions from you. We want to hear feedback from you. We want to hear from you. So please, if you haven't had a chance to leave us a message, we would absolutely love it. And yes, I will do my best to listen to every single one of them. So please do swing by our website, leave us a message, leave us a voicemail, leave us some community questions. One of the other things that I would like you to leave for us is your success stories. I know so many of you have had amazing success stories with the information that you've gathered from the Business Development Podcast over the previous year. And we would absolutely love to hear them. If you have had success with any of the information that you have learned on the Business Development Podcast and you want to leave us a message, we would be honored. Please swing by our website, leave us a voicemail, let us know about the successes that you guys have had. You can also just send us an email if you prefer that. podcast@capitalbd.ca. That's podcast@capitalbd.ca. And if you send us an email, that will be absolutely cool too, and we will definitely utilize them. And one final thing before we launch into today's show, we have sponsorship advertising opportunities available for companies with the right fit. So yes, we do vet all the companies that advertise with us. We want to make sure that they are a good fit for our audience and that they will be of value. But if you are interested in advertising with us, we would love to hear from you. Please do reach out, podcast@capitalbd.ca, and we can start that discussion. All right. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We are heading into our first year. So for those of you who follow us on LinkedIn, you're going to see throughout the week, we are dropping highlights for our amazing, amazing guests that we have had over the 2023 season into our very first year of the Business Development Podcast. We are dropping one a day with 6 highlighted guests with all of their episodes. And so if you want to just cherry pick through and find some guests that you think are cool and check out their episodes, you will be able to do that on the Business Development Podcast LinkedIn page. Feel free to swing by, give us a follow, and check those out. Okay, let's just head into it. We have had an absolute ton of requests specifically for tips for small business. There's lots of small business owners out there, lots of people who maybe have just started an organization. You know, they're trying to get going. And small business can be challenging. You're working with limited money, time, manpower, and effective business development is absolutely critical to both early and long-term success of your business. We've been asked, like I said, multiple times to do a show on this, and today we are going to do just that. So, business development for small business must accomplish 3 things. It must be time efficient, it must be cost effective, and it must lead to long-term relationship opportunities with repeat business. As you can imagine, these 3 things are not necessarily that easy to accomplish. But with some of the information and tips that we will leave you today, I think that it will set you up for success. I think that it will allow you to utilize the precious time that you have in a more effective way and allow you to accomplish more with less. And that is my goal for today's episode. Most small business owners also perform business development activities and operational activities. They may only have between 1 and 5 employees to support them, and time management is absolutely critical. The following tips will help you manage this time effectively. We have 10 tips today. I'm just going to get into it, and these tips will help you accomplish more with less time. So, for my business owners who are currently not utilizing a calendar, and yes, I mean a calendar, an email calendar, a phone calendar, something to track your time, use of a calendar is absolutely crucial. Meetings, work time, BD activities, you need to start scheduling time to do things. And I know this might seem a little bit silly, especially if you're a new business and you're just like, well, yeah, I know how to schedule my time. Believe me, in the beginning, it can feel like you do, but over time, you're going to get busier and busier and busier. And if you're not scheduling time for each task into your calendar, things will get missed, meetings will get missed, activities will get missed, and you will fall behind. We live in a time, an amazing time, where digital calendars are absolutely probably the best that they have ever been, and they're amazing. And frankly, I live my entire day by scheduled time. And it may seem like, oh, I don't want to live like that, but believe me, you will get to a point where you will be so thankful that this is the way that you are doing your life and your business, because it just allows you to be able to look down and say, you know what, today I have this, and this to do. I know what I need to do. I know what times they are. It's going to send me reminders. And you are just going to get more and more efficient and effective with your scheduled time. So, tip number 1, use of a calendar is absolutely crucial. Start doing it immediately. Number 2, top-notch website and brochures are critical to help you build awareness. whether you're a one-person company or a 1,000-person company, your website is where people find you. It's where they learn things about you, and it is your 20-story skyscraper in 2024. And it is absolutely critical that you are spending a good amount of time making sure that your website accurately describes you, your organization, what it is you do, and that it leads your customers down a journey to have them reach out to you. So make sure that your website is laid out in such a way that it will be visually appealing, that it will reflect you and your corporation and your company well. Your visitors will be able to very much understand what it is you do, how your service will help them, and obviously lead them down a journey to hopefully reach out to you for next steps and to book those meetings. So make sure that your website is working for you. Make sure that it is high visual appeal, and that it leads them where it needs to go. Also, make sure that you are making brochures. I know 2024, there's some people that say, well, why do I need a brochure? Because building interest in your company still requires a brochure. And it's a great option to be able to reach out to people digitally and just attach a brochure. Introduce yourself personally, attach a brochure, say, hey, I've attached a brochure. If you want to learn a little bit more about me and my company and what we do, feel free to check it out. These are amazing. And we use them for soft introductions at Capital Business Development all the time. And it's just a great way to introduce yourself and your company without being too overbearing. And we always love a physical thing, especially when we're going to real meetings. So being able to bring a physical brochure with a business card to a physical meeting and be able to give something to each of the people you're meeting with is absolutely effective. It's absolutely critical, and it is still a principle that we use at Capital all the time. And I would highly, highly recommend that you build a physical brochure to go along with your amazing, amazing website. Remember, these are things that you can outsource to, guys, and you should. If you're not an expert in digital design and web design, you should outsource this work. Believe me, have a professional do it. Yeah, it may have a little bit of upfront cost, but it'll have a lot of long-term benefit. And usually a website or brochure is good for a number of years. So it's an investment that pays for itself in dividends over time. So make sure that we are hiring a professional to create our website. If you need to, make sure that you're hiring a professional to do your brochures. If you are a rock star and you're just really good with digital stuff, you can do amazing things on Canva. Would highly, highly recommend that if you're not using Canva right now for your social posts, for any type of brochure creation or cut sheet creation, that you start to learn Canva. Canva is pretty awesome. We've been utilizing it a lot at Capital BD over the last 2 years and would highly, highly recommend it. So feel free. You can do a lot of these things on there, especially when it comes to brochures. So feel free to check it out and see what you can do. Schedule at least 1 day a week for new business development. Okay, this one is absolutely critical. It is required. Give yourself, if you are a business owner or you're new in business development for an organization and you're just getting started, you're a small business, you need to make sure that you are dedicating at least 1 day a week to new business development. This is making connections on LinkedIn. This is digital introductions. This is phone calls. This is meeting scheduling. Make sure that you are giving yourself a day a week. And I can already hear you guys saying, Kelly, I don't have a day a week. Trust me, you do. You do. You just need to schedule your time better. And so this is why I started with the calendar. Let's schedule our time and let's make sure that what we are doing is we are scheduling a day a week to do new business development tasks, to book meetings, to get in front of people, to do digital introductions, to add our 100 people a week on LinkedIn. Start doing this 1 day a week. I know it seems like a lot. I know you're a small business owner and you're like, Kelly, I don't have the time. Find the time, because if you do not find the time for new business development, long term, this is a recipe for disaster. If you can get into the habit of dedicating a day a week to new business development for yourself, you are going to have a lot of new opportunity coming in all the time. And so please make sure that you are scheduling 1 day a week for new business development. If you are a small business, a new business, or you just need that extra support, believe me, that day a week, it moves mountains. Number 4, use of a CRM will make BD much easier to manage, right? We need to make sure that we're not just doing BD, but we're actually keeping track of all the work that we're doing, where we're at with various deals. Do we have a whole bunch of companies that are right on the edge of meetings? We're doing a whole bunch of LinkedIn digital introductions to people. Are we tracking that? Are we making sure that their companies, their contact information is put into some place where you can follow up on it later, okay? CRMs are absolutely critical in 2024 and beyond. They've been critical for years, in my opinion. And if you are not currently utilizing a CRM, there are many, many great CRM options available at the Business Development Podcast and Capital BD. We use Pipedrive. That's just what we actually use internally for CRMs. I can attach a link to this website if you guys want to use an affiliate link. We are affiliated with Pipedrive, but that is a relatively new development. We haven't been for many years, and I've been using Pipedrive personally for over 10 years at this point. So I just love it. I love the product. It's great. It does everything you need it to do, and it does it cost effectively. Those are the two things that were critical to me at Capital. And if you are not currently using a CRM, would recommend Pipedrive. However, there are lots of other great CRMs, so don't feel like I'm roping you into this one. Try a few out, see what you think, but CRMs are absolutely critical in 2024 and beyond for your business development efforts. Make sure that you are utilizing one and that you're utilizing it effectively. Number 5, use a diverse team for a force multiplier. Hire for skills that you don't have, okay? Whatever your organization is, you as the owner, as the founder, you have a set of skills that you utilize to start the organization. And those skills are probably absolutely critical to the task, to the operation of the business itself. And that's awesome. That's awesome. However, there is going to be a number of skills you may not have. That might be social media management. That might be brochure creation. That might be business development. That actually might be just business development where you don't really want to do it. If you are hiring people, make sure that they are not carbon copies of yourself, because I see so many business owners do this. They hire people that are carbon copies of themselves, thinking, well, if I can just replace myself or do this over and over again, we are going to get better and better and better. I'm going to be able to take on more and more business. But what ends up happening is that you're lacking in a diverse range of skills. And it's a diverse range of skills that will help your organization grow over time. So make sure that, you might be looking for people with a certain skill set, but always make sure that they have skill sets that can complement what you do as well, to make sure that you are always adding, that you are always being able to take it a step further and complement the skill sets and add new diverse skills to your organization. It will only benefit you long term. So when you're hiring people, make sure that you're hiring for a diverse skill set. Don't necessarily just go for the carbon copies. Find people that have skills that you don't have that can complement yourself and make your business better. Number 6, get better at delegating. And I'll be honest, I'm also not great at delegating. So I'm in some levels preaching to the choir here a little bit, but delegating is absolutely critical. Being able to take a step back and give your employees tasks and say, look, I need you to do these while I go and do things that are also critical and important to the organization. It will only benefit you over time, being able to trust your employees, being able to give them more responsibility, and eventually getting to a point where you know that they can accomplish that and accomplish it well is only going to benefit you and your organization moving forward. You need your employees to be able to work at 110% all the time. And that is going to require you to take a step back and trust them to do it. And while they may or may not do it as good as you can do it, it doesn't really matter because you can't do 100 different tasks. Okay. So make sure that you are practicing delegation. I am equally practicing delegation, and it is a practice. It is something that you need to work on, that you need to take a step back and relinquish the reins a little bit and just let them fly. But I think you'll find that over time, the more that you are able to exercise this, the stronger that your employees are going to get and the more effective your organization is going to get. And at some point, you are not going to be able to just do the day-to-day business as the business owner. You are going to have much more important tasks. You are going to have the tasks of making new relationships, signing new big deals, meeting new people. Your job at some point is just going to be to shout your company from the rooftops, represent it well, and bring in new business. That is really what happens to most founders and CEOs over time. And so what you need in order to accomplish that, which is your most important task, is for people to be able to do the day-to-day operation of your business. And so delegation is absolutely critical, and it is something that we need to work on as business owners, founders, whether you have a large business or a small business. Being able to delegate, take a step back, and let other people take the reins is only going to help your organization grow over time, and it is going to allow you to do what you're going to need to do, which is grow your business. Number 7, stop wasting money you don't have on passive strategies, okay? I'm the first to tell you, Passive strategies, if you were in business to business, needs to be about 20% of your spend, okay? The other 80% of your spend needs to be on active strategies. You may not know what I'm talking about. Active strategies means direct phone calls, direct emails, getting in touch with real people, utilizing real people, starting a conversation, booking face-to-face meetings, booking Teams meetings, making real introductions and pitches on your product to real people. Passive strategies means using radio ads, LinkedIn ads, any type of ads. And yes, they are critical. I'm not going to say that ads are a no-go, that socials are a no-go. You absolutely need them, but they need to be about 20% of your marketing spend. The other 80% of your marketing spend needs to be done on active marketing. This is just going to have the largest and greatest ROI for your organization. And when you don't have much time as it is, you need to be spending the time that you do have on the most probable outcomes. The most probable outcomes are going to come from an active marketing strategy. So if right now you're spending most of your money on passive ads and waiting for the phone to ring, I want you to reverse this. I want you to take that down to about 20% of your spend, and I want you to spend at least an hour or 2 hours a day making direct connections, LinkedIn connections, phone calls, emails. Make sure you're getting to the right people and ask for meetings. Meetings is where everything happens, and we need to make sure that we are utilizing most of our time trying to get in front of people where we can build real relationships that lead to repeat, mutually beneficial business over time, okay? This is going to happen with meetings, and all business development is designed to get you in front of people who can buy your product over time, people who you can build relationships with over time that are going to be mutually beneficial to both you and the customer. And these are done in person. So make sure that we're spending about 80% of our advertising spend on active marketing strategies, about 20% on passive marketing strategies. Keep in mind, this is for business to business. If you're in business to customer, B2C, reverse this. Probably about 80% on passive marketing strategies and probably about 20% on active strategies. But there's always a need for both. It's just what is the ratio? B2B, it's definitely 80% active, 20% passive. This is going to be a great ratio for you to be effective and book more meetings over time. Number 8. Your phone is your best friend. I get it. 2024, we're a little afraid of phone calls. I get it. I'm in business development. I've been making phone calls for 13, 14 years at this point, like on a regular basis for multiple clients. I still struggle with phone calls sometimes, so I totally understand. And so I'm not calling you guys out. What I'm suggesting here is that we need to get better at it. We need to make our phone our friend, because real phone calls lead to real meetings. They just do. And we need to get into a daily habit of making phone calls and asking for meetings. This is where it happens, guys. This is where it happens. And when we are a small organization, we don't have time to be wasting, right? We just don't have time to be wasting. And so we need to make sure that every single activity that we are utilizing to grow our business is effective. And so I would highly encourage you guys to get into a habit, on these days that I said to schedule for business development. Make sure that you're busting out 20, 30 phone calls that day. I know it sounds like a lot. Believe me, I know, I get it. But trust me, 20 is very, very accomplishable, and it will very, very likely lead you to a face-to-face meeting, which, depending on your closure ratio, might lead you to an actual customer, which is what you need to be doing on behalf of your business. If you're sitting and waiting for your phone to ring because of your passive ad strategies, you're going to be waiting a long time, because you got to get a customer on their worst day when they're actually looking for you. Not to mention, they're going to come up with all of your competitors at that time. What you need to be doing is getting them ahead of the need. With active marketing strategies, we get customers ahead of the problem, ahead of the need. And so when they eventually, inevitably have that problem or need, who are they going to remember? They're going to remember you, because you reached out to them, you booked a meeting, you introduced yourself, you introduced your company, and you built trust with that customer. They're going to call you. Active marketing is absolutely critical, and phone calls are a pivotal part of an active marketing process. And so on those days that I ask you to do business development, I want you guys to be crushing out like 20 calls at least. I want you to be sending 30 digital introductions from LinkedIn. And I want you to be constantly filling up your cup with people that you can reach out to and get into that weekly contacted stage. After this as well, you can go back to previous shows. You guys can find, I have lots of shows on how to do the active marketing process, but we need to make sure that we're doing weekly follow-up. So for these customers that you're calling 20 a week, make sure that as you're disqualifying them, you're moving new ones in, but you're also asking for meetings all the time. And trust me, you're going to book a lot of meetings, and they are going to lead to business for you. And it's absolutely critical. And so your phone is your best friend. And one last thing I want to leave you with your phone, okay? I get it. Cold calls can be scary. Refining your pitch can be scary, but trust me, you will get better at it over time. And after about 5 phone calls, you actually hit something called a cold call cadence. And cold call cadence is really cool. It's like a runner's high. After a little bit, after about 5, 6 phone calls, you'll find that the next one gets easier, and the next one gets easier, and the next one gets easier. And crushing out 20 calls is actually easier than crushing out 5, which is absolutely bonkers. But it gets easier and easier and easier as you go. And so you might find that you hit 20 and you're still rearing to go. You might do 30. You might do 40. You might just absolutely kill it that day. Trust me, just go for it. Get into a cold call cadence and you will find success. Number 9, use LinkedIn to its full potential, okay? Many people are on LinkedIn. They don't really understand how to use it. LinkedIn is probably one of the greatest tools that's been given to us in business development over the last 10 years. I really mean that. I think it's probably second to the CRM, but that's about it. LinkedIn is amazing, and almost everybody that you want to connect with or that you want to do business with is on LinkedIn. And so if we can utilize LinkedIn to its full effect, which is to connect with new people, introduce our company, get as much contact information on them as we can so that we can figure out what their contact details are and reach out to them directly, it is only going to make you more effective. You will need a premium LinkedIn account, okay? LinkedIn, if you don't have a premium account, it limits your searches. It limits the amount of people that you can actually search in a week, and this is bad. This is not a good thing. When you have a LinkedIn account, you are able to add 100 digital connections a week. Does that mean they're all going to add you back? No. But what it allows you to do is figure out who is my target customer at a type of industry or at an organization, whether that be an operations manager or a CEO or a director. And it allows you to hop in and search, CEOs in my area, directors in my area, operations managers in my area. And it just kicks you out this amazing list of people at various organizations. Sure, you got to find the right ones that meet your criteria and the demographic for your company, but you can add 100 of those people every week. And even if only 50 people accept, you can then send them a digital introduction. Hi, I'm John, or hi, I'm Jill from XYZ company. It's a pleasure to connect with you. I've attached a brochure and I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Now, they're probably going to read your brochure, actually. It's very likely that they will open and read your brochure. If you do a personal connection that's very short and sweet and introduces yourself as a person, it's going to give you more credibility. And now you can put them into your digital introduction stage on your CRM, find their contact information, move them into weekly calls until you either disqualify them or book the meeting. But trust me, it's amazing. And LinkedIn is absolutely critical to your long-term success in business development and in business. And so if you're not currently using LinkedIn, you don't currently have a premium account, and keep in mind, you can just go with like the basic business account. This is what we use at Capital. You don't need anything super fancy. You don't need Sales Navigator. You don't need any of this. You just need the basic business account that allows you to add 100 new connections a week and search unlimited people. If you can do these things, it is all you're going to need to make the connections you need to do more business. So make sure that we're using LinkedIn effectively. Make sure that we're adding our 100 connections every single week, because if we do not add them, we lose them. LinkedIn does not have a rollover policy where if you don't use 100 one week, you get 200 the next week. No. If you don't use 100 connections by Sunday, you're back to only 100 connections, which means if you want to use LinkedIn to its full potential, you absolutely need to be adding 100 connections every single week. And I would encourage you to do this. And if you do this, you will always have a roster of people that you can connect with. And this is great for just connecting with people in your community. I use it to connect with local CEOs that I just want to chat with, or that I want to make introductions to, or just people that I find interesting. But LinkedIn is an amazing, amazing place. And if you use it effectively, it will be one of the best tools in your toolbox. And number 10, take responsibility for the growth of your business. This is a hard thing. I know this sounds obvious, but I think so many entrepreneurs and CEOs just put a bunch of stuff out into the ether and hope and wait. Guys, stop doing this. Stop it. Stop it. If you want your business to be successful, you need to stand up, take the reins, and make it successful. And I know this is going to be kind of hard for some of you guys to hear because, well, Kelly, I have these passive marketing strategies and yeah, we get calls, right? It's going to happen. Yeah, maybe. But do you really want to wait on a maybe, or do you want to take control of your future? Okay. You started a business. You started a business because you could do it better, because you had a dream, you had an idea. Make it happen. Make it happen. If you're not getting enough business, take control, make some phone calls, right? If you're not getting enough business, ask yourself, what could I be doing? What could I be doing right now? Should I maybe attend, a coffee with the chamber? Should I make 20 phone calls today? Should I add more people on LinkedIn? What could I be doing to grow my business? If this is the outlook that you take, you will be successful because you're not going to leave it to chance. And I think as entrepreneurs, we can definitely get into this place where we're leaving it to chance, okay? I want you to do better than this. If you're a small business, you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to waste. You have a lot of competition out there. You got a lot of big players who are established, who are already get the clients, and you're going to need to take them. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take effort. It's going to take determination. It's going to take persistence, and it's going to take consistency. Take control of your future. Pick up the phone. Make the phone calls. Introduce yourself. Introduce your company. Book meetings. And do more business. This will make you successful over time. Sitting and waiting is not going to help you. Take control. Take responsibility for the growth of your business. And I have one more bonus tip before we close today's episode. Use a notepad daily and track your top 10 things to do today, calls and digital introductions. I have a daily notepad that I bring with me literally everywhere. And yes, it's old school. Yes, it's a pen and paper. And yes, it's extremely, extremely effective. I always write the top 10 things I need to do today. I write the client that I'm working for at the top of the page for the day. I make sure that any of my BD meeting notes are taken, that I'm tracking all my calls that I made for that day, that I'm tracking all my digital introductions, and I use this sheet to upload all my information into a CRM at the end of the week. It is super, super effective. And if you are not currently using a notepad and writing at bare minimum the top things you need to do today, you can change that tomorrow. Add a daily notepad to your day-to-day. Bring it with you to meetings. Bring it with you to anywhere you go, right? Like great ideas come at the strangest times. So having a notepad with you at all times is really, really effective. And so I either have a Padfolio or a notepad by me literally 24/7 all day, every day, forever. And I've been doing this and it's been part of the way that I've done business. Like I said, at the whole time that I've done capital, the whole time I've done business development. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you keep a notepad and that you are tracking the top 5, top 10 things that you guys are doing every single day. It's really great as well from a reward standpoint to be able to check things off as you complete them. And so, like I said, I track, things to do today is my phone calls, however many that is, my digital introductions, however many that is, all the meetings that I have, anything else that I have to do, any meetings I have to book, it's always noted out. Things I have to do today, always noted out. And it is really, really effective. And so if you're not doing it, just try it. Just try it for a week. I want you to get a notepad. I want you to start each day by writing top things to do today. Write down 5. Start with 5 and just see how it changes your life. But mark my words, being able to write the top things to do today will make you more effective over time. Amazing. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Business development tips for small business. Shout outs this week. Rico Carol Clemmer, Sashin CS, Allegan Sathianathan, Cliff Turner, Conrad Ledger, Alexander Heiss, Stephen Knight, Lucas Benjamin Schmidt, Grace Blackstone, Mike D. Woodford, Gilliam Rabillard, Saul Lessem, Abby McCann, David Sobius, Jack Schaefer, Craig Panic, Tyler Rebkowicz, Sean Suley, Aaron Haberman, Keith Matthews, Gene Lublinhoff, and Al Jensitsky. Thank you so much for your support of the Business Development Podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. Next week is our 1-year anniversary, so stay tuned for a really exciting episode. I'm really, really pumped. I'll be recording that on our 1-year anniversary, so that will be the one that I will give our highlights for the year and thank yous, and I can't wait for it, guys. Until next time, this has been the Business Development Podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for your support. We will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.
Calling all office leaders and game changers. Score big this season with At Work Office Furniture, your winning strategy for workspace excellence. Picture this: premium commercial furniture delivering a championship level experience. From rapid deliveries to custom visual plans, At Work ensures every piece is an all-star player. For over 40 years, At Work has been crafting office success stories across Canada. Need a winning team without the hefty price tag? Head over to www.atwork.ca. They are not just furnishing offices, they're creating spaces where business champions thrive. Contact Rodney and his team at hello@atwork.ca. Mention Kelly and the Business Development Podcast for an exclusive touch. Your victory starts here at Work, where every workspace transforms into the ultimate arena for success. Don't just dream it, achieve it with At Work Office Furniture. That's www.atwork.ca.